The goal of the event is to have people send me replays, do kind of a more of a relaxed version of coaching slash replay reviewing, and the goal is to give everybody something to work on, something to improve. Now what the event is not, is I'm not gonna go out like full coaching mode like I would. Again, it's gonna be a more relaxed version, and also like the advice that I give is gonna be at a master level, because obviously I can't give you challenger level coaching. Not everything I say is gonna be the most optimal, best way to play the game in every single situation. However, it's probably gonna be good for you. I'm probably gonna be able to help almost anybody who is similar rank or lower than me. Okay, so I like what you're doing here, but you could have done it a little bit faster. So one of the things is the first minute and 30 seconds in low elo, I've seen people, they waste a lot of time. They're just AFK at the tower or something, when in reality you can still bring value to your team even here. Basically, if you ran directly to these pillars as opposed to clicking here and being AFK for a couple of more seconds, you could have potentially stopped invades from the enemy team. Now, obviously, this isn't really going to be too much of a problem. This is going to be maybe 1 in 20 games in your elo, but it's a really good habit to have. You scout it, it's good, and you're AFK again. So I don't like this. Let's look at the vision your team has. Like, bot side, it's really not covered, but neither is top side at all. You see Kaylee's AFK, you're AFK, bot lane's AFK. Like, you guys have absolutely no vision. So another way you could bring value to your team here is simply standing somewhere here. What I want you to do is just basically don't be AFK, because you're wasting a lot of time by being just AFK here. You could be standing here and being a ward for your team. What are you thinking currently in the game? Like, from the loading screen, what are you thinking about this game?
I was just listening to music and vibing. I wasn't thinking anything.
Of course, of course. So one way you could improve there is just be more active and engaged with the game that you're playing. Just constantly think about things. So if I were to ask you, what do you think about the junglers in this situation? How are the junglers going to influence mid lane?
Well, most of the time I don't really expect any ganks. I was thinking about his E while in game, that it can possibly burn a flash or help us taking a kill. But their jungler, well, it's really easy to avoid him and run from him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good analysis. So Nocturne isn't really gonna gank you too much early game. And also, you're a very aggressive player, which is an amazing thing to, like, amazing attribute to have. You just need to be very smart with your aggression. Can you tell me what you're thinking when you're just running at him like this?
Most of the time I just try to, like, poke him out, make him lose health and maybe panic a little bit so he burns his mana faster. Because I really like to, like, force mage players to use all their spells and maybe lose a lot of mana in the laning phase, so they have to recall or just take XP and not gain gold.
Okay. So here I like your first Q, but I don't really like the second thing you do, because look at this. So you use your Q, you grab your passive, it's great. You're going in, he pulls back. Now when you hit him here, look at what happens. You hit him once without your passive, and now while you're returning, he can just hit you back. And if you look, you did about 200 health worth of damage. He's gonna do a lot more to you. He did about 250. So it's not really the second. I like the fact that you're going in, but don't go in too much, okay? Especially not when the enemy is just so far back. And also, you made another mistake here. Could you maybe tell me what it is?
No, not really.
Okay. So, do you know what Second Wind does? Or Doran Shield? Do you know that they heal you more the lower health you are?
Yes.
So why would you pop your potion here at 450 health? Like, you're losing a lot of value. There's absolutely no way that Ziggs is gonna take off, like, this much HP in 1 second that you're not going to be able to react. So this is a pretty significant mistake, actually. Not using your potion when you're this high HP. You're really not using your Second Wind and Doran Shield to that good of an extent. So you might as well just have something else instead of Second Wind at this point, you know? So basically, just when you're running this setup, this Doran Shield and Second Wind setup, you want to get as low as you can without actually being scared of dying, and then at that point you wanna pop your potion. Like, it might seem like a small thing, but these types of mistakes are actually what decides the lane. Like having an extra 100, 150 HP. So do you know anything about wave control?
Well, I know when to push. Wait, not when to push. I know how to freeze the lane quite well, but I forgot some of it.
Okay, sure. That's fine. Okay, so can you tell me what are you thinking at this point when you decide that you're gonna run at him like this? Are you thinking I'm gonna all in hit this guy, or are you just kind of making it up on the fly as you're going?
I was probably trying to all in him, but I saw the damage he made. It was probably because he used one of his spells before. I don't remember correctly. I most of the time try to like wait for one of their spells so they don't have a lot of like artillery, not artillery. Don't know how.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. You're saying you're waiting for him to use a cooldown. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. I think so. I don't remember, but I think so. That's what I did.
Yeah, but the thing is, he didn't use a single cooldown here. Okay, so
okay.
That's fine. It's fine. I like your thought process. I think it's very good to think about. I'm gonna wait for him to use a cooldown to go in. But if you're gonna all in, one of the things to watch out for is your energy, because if you had full energy here, he cannot survive. You beat him 100%. But because you're going in at 90 energy, you're lacking damage to finish him off here. Like, the worst thing is, I think you could have potentially maybe even killed him, because you have a fully stacked Conqueror, so you're, like, really strong here. And maybe you could have actually beat him, but that's more of a mechanical thing, and we're not really gonna go for that. But basically, if you're looking to all-in somebody, do it when you have your full resources, because you going in with half energy there made this guy survive and made you almost die. And also another thing, you're going in, who is the wave pushing at here?
Me.
Okay, so what happens if you don't manage to kill him?
I get a lot of damage from his minions.
Yes, you're going in, you're gonna get a lot of damage, you're gonna get attacked by these 3 minions as well, but also, if you don't end up winning this, like, engagement, like it happened, you're gonna have no HP with the wave crashing into your tower. So you have to either stay with very low HP and risk dying from, I don't know, a jungler or a random Q from Ziggs, or you have to lose this whole wave, basically. So, usually, if you're all-inning, you want the wave state to be either even, or you want it to favor you.
What to do if my like wave is pushing and the enemy mid laner is really scared and I... Like,
okay, sure. Well, in that case, if you're like really pushing and they don't want to engage you, you just can't kill them, pretty much. But in that situation, what a mid laner does is mid laner tries to impact the game in different ways. So you're gonna use that timer when he's under tower, pushed in. You can make a roam somewhere. You can roam at Aatrox. You can move towards Mordekaiser, maybe, if he gets counter-ganked or something. You can use this time to go and place a ward as well, without missing any CS. But you basically have to take these small wins. If somebody's playing ultra safe and they've managed to kind of make you push towards them, you can't really do much. Not as a level 3 Akali, right? Maybe level 6, but not level 3. This is... I know this because I play Twisted Fate a lot, and basically my game plan in a lot of these matchups is to make the enemy push to me and then just try to freeze them. Because I know I'm safe. I know they're not going to be able to kill me. And now you see what's happening now. You're really low HP. And he can just push this wave, but you have to stay. Especially since you're not running TP. Do you ever play TP?
I've played TP before, but stopped because it didn't really give me any edge over my enemies.
Yeah, sure. I think in lower elos, it's usually a good idea to go with Ignite instead of TP, but when you're playing Ignite instead of TP, you have to be way more careful to not get chunked like this, because now look at this wave. Yeah, like, the Ziggs isn't really pressuring you, but good players will know to pressure you a lot when you're this low. Again, remember, if you use the potion at a better time, I think that engage was absolutely yours. I think you could have beaten him in that engage if you just used a little bit more healing from your runes. So even though it seems like a very small mistake, don't underestimate how important stuff like that is. Okay, this might be good. Okay, sure. That's a good trade for you, by the way. So one of the things that you want to keep in mind when you're playing a champion like Akali, like an assassin, or even Pantheon, because you play Pantheon, is trading HP against a mage like Ziggs is usually good because your lethal threshold is way higher than theirs. Because you can deal so much more burst damage to the opponent than they can to you. So, for instance, Ziggs might be in lethal range here. I think he might... Yeah, if you land everything, he's dead. Whereas if he lands everything on you, you can probably survive with like 50 HP or something. So here Ziggs isn't really pressuring you or anything. You can just farm on the tower, it's fine.
Yeah, they're really fast.
Yeah. Okay, this is amazing.
Shut down.
Yeah, you're pretty much killing here, right? And this is because you traded HP with him. You had almost exactly lethal there, if not exactly lethal, and this is because your lethal threshold is higher than theirs. So, as an assassin, when you're both low is usually when the enemy is more scared of you than you are of them. What do you think about Yolan? Do you think you can kill this guy?
Yeah.
What are you doing right now? You're waiting for him to push to kill him, yeah?
Yeah, I was waiting for him to concentrate.
Yeah, but the problem with this is you're giving him mid prio. So what he could have done here is he could have just farmed this wave and recalled and been here for the second wave because it was the cannon wave. Now he's not gonna do it because he's bronze, but usually giving the opponent prio when you're instead of keeping pressure is not a good thing to do, right?
Oh, I have one more question. I've heard somewhere that not being on the map is also pressuring the enemy team, so I sometimes try to like go into the dark. Well, most of the time when my lane is pushed, like not waiting, but just going into the dark and maybe sitting somewhere waiting for the next wave, trying to not give the enemy any vision of me so they get paranoid and think I'm in room somewhere.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Let me just tune this down a little bit. You're right. As a TF player, I know this very well. When you're standing in fog of war, the enemy basically doesn't know where you're at, so you could maybe pop out in bot lane or something. However, I don't think that you should think about this too much, because this is a kind of a concept that only works in high elo, because high elo players are more map aware. If we look at what's happening here, there's not a single missing thing from Ziggs. Nobody cares. Like, you're trying to do this smart thing. Okay, now he does it. Okay, sure. You're trying to do this smart thing, but these guys are probably not gonna move, even though Ziggs pings them. And you can see Ziggs only did one ping after 15 to 20 seconds. So I would try to just play more on the lanes. However, it's good that you understand that concept, that not being in vision puts pressure on the rest of the map. However, I would try to have you play more straightforward than this, because low elo players are not going to respect it. Now you're kind of low HP and you basically need to recall. So the next question is, how are you going to secure a good recall here?
Most of the time I push lane into their tower, so they lose CS and I can't really push them or like pressure them or something, so I just recall.
Yeah, but what happens if, like in this case, Ziggs is he's kind of poking you down and not really you're not really gonna have the opportunity to push him into the tower, because you're kind of screwed here. You took way too many Qs. So how would you try to recall in this spot?
I don't really know.
Yeah, so the best time to recall would be on a cannon wave. This is you're taking too much damage, so this is obviously a smart recall. You're gonna sacrifice one wave instead of dying. However, there was a cannon wave here about 2 waves ago, and usually when you're recalling, you wanna make sure that the next wave coming is a cannon wave, so that the enemy it takes them a lot more time to kill a cannon wave, for one, and second thing is it takes the turret a lot more to kill their cannon. So their cannon is gonna be tanking a lot of turret shots, and you're basically gonna miss very little minions if you do that.
Okay.
To get the plates. Okay, no, this is a huge mistake. Do you go on him? Yes, you do. Okay, smart, good. Wait, why'd you? Okay, this is a mechanical thing. You obviously know you could have killed him there, right?
Yeah,
it's fine. That's okay. So, like, when you're playing a champ who is, like, this dangerous, like a Kali Pantheon, mages cannot do this. They can't just walk in lane through here. You can always just all in and kill them, so... But again, this is just gonna be up to you limit testing and knowing how much damage you deal. I wanna see what you do here. Okay, this is good. Okay, now what? Ooh, I don't like you not moving here. Okay, so actually, can you tell me why didn't you move? It might be okay. So why didn't you move?
I was probably not aware of the fight.
Okay, that's fine. At least you know. At least you know you weren't paying attention. You can improve that. Now you're making a big mistake. Like making the choice to go and help with the dragon or pushing out the lane is a way closer decision than what you're doing here. Can you tell me like what you're doing wrong right now?
I was probably trying to compensate for my
Yes, exactly. Like if you make a choice, you have to stick with it, even if it's the wrong choice. I mean, in certain situations, you're going to be able to kind of make the right choice after you make the wrong choice, but this is very obviously, like, you could have gotten 2 plates. Oh, wait, plates are dead. You could have gotten this turret, right? But instead, what you're doing is you're just moving after your whole team already lost. I mean, I wonder what's going to happen here. Maybe you get some kills, but yeah. You basically just... This was a free turret. Again, one skill, the reason why I say that it wasn't so clear whether you should move or not is because one skill is to actually determine whether you can win the fight or not before it happens. Like, you would have need to recognize that Aatrox is there, that he's super strong, stuff like that, and then make the calculation. So it's fine to push, like you did. However, just commit to the play and do it. Do you know how much gold you need for Rocket Belt in this spot?
645, I think.
Like in total or more?
In total.
You push this wave out, and you don't do anything with it. You're basically AFK. Again, this is just being on autopilot. Now you can use this time for something. You can use this time to make a recall, buy the item and get a huge power spike, make a pretty decent recall. You're not really gonna miss anything. You can run to lane. But why are you not recalling here? Is there any... When do you think about recalling?
When do I think about recalling? When I have like too much gold and probably when I just eliminated an enemy.
Okay, but what is too much gold?
Probably 2,000. Like I can buy.
So it's a number.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to stop thinking about gold in numbers and start thinking of gold as in power spikes.
Okay.
So too much gold is having more gold than a rocket belt. If you can get a good recall off. Too much gold in this spot, like way too much gold, would be more gold than buying sorcerer shoes and rocket belt. Or whatever, right? It wouldn't be 2,000 gold, it would be however much gold you needed for that. And again, this might seem like a small thing, but you having that item early, you don't know how that's gonna impact the game. Like, you can completely, like, win a fight and snowball the game in your favor. How are you trying to influence the game with waves at this point? Like,
mostly pushing in and then roaming around.
Okay, but you're not really doing that. Yeah, you're letting him push into you. But that's a good plan. So you know what you need to do.
Okay. Also, I try maybe. Well, I'm speculating that I was trying to let him push in and thought maybe he could like come in and try to be a little bit more aggressive. So
yeah, I understand. After a certain point, mid lane just becomes a shove fest. Because after mid laners get a couple points into their abilities and get some items, they're going to be able to delete waves so fast that you're not really going to be able to do that. Like, you're not really going to be able to let him slow push into you and just all in him and bait him and stuff like that. So that's a really good plan to do in like the first 7 levels. But after 7 levels, mid lane is just going to be who's going to push and roam, pretty much. So I think if you need like a rule, usually about level 8, 9 is when the waves are just gonna start like push, especially against the mage. It's just gonna start like being a clear fast, like who pushes and roams. However, here I can see that you're not paying attention to the map, because if you were, you would know that Mordekaiser is doing Herald, and you would just try to push this out and go towards him. Basically, you don't have to kill the Herald with him, but let's say Nocturne shows up, you want to be there in order to help the contest, yeah. But you're focused on the Ziggs. Like, I can see you're getting frustrated the fact that he's not wanting to fight you. Yeah, I can see that. But this is how he can't really fight you. He's way too weak 1v1. So you bought Oblivion Orb only for Aatrox, yeah?
Yeah.
Now that can be good. However, I would say that because you're running Ignite, I think it's a waste of gold to go Oblivion Orb in this case, because you're only really using it against Aatrox, and since you already have one version of anti-heal that's going to be available almost every team fight, you shouldn't really build it. You should just go for your power spike as fast as possible. Like, if they had more champions that abuse healing, then going with it would be a little bit better. However, I'm not an Akali expert, but I can pretty confidently say that it's not good to go Oblivion Orb here. What you want to think about is you want to do your job the best you can. So your job is going to be, like you said, to kill the squishies. So you want to spec into that. You want to focus into that and leave Aatrox killing to Samira and Kayle. You don't want to, like make your main job worse in order to do something, like killing a tank, a bruiser, something like that. Do you ever, like, go side lane, or do you just always do mid lane?
What do you mean by that? Like, pick top instead of...
I mean, like, going for a split push or something like that.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I do it a lot.
Okay, because you have a champion that's, like, very, very good in side lane. Not a lot of champs can beat it 1v1. So usually pressuring side lane is really good.
But I do most of the time when we are losing.
When you're... You do it most of the time when you're what?
When we are losing.
Losing, okay.
Yeah.
So no, that's actually a great way to push your advantage further. It's not as good when you're losing as it is when you're winning, split pushing. Because the thing is, when you're winning, you're way stronger, and it means that nobody can contest you in side lane. And this is when you can put the most amount of pressure and win the game, like close out the game. When you're losing, it can also be good. However, it is not an exclusively like a losing strategy. I like to do it more when I'm winning. Like if I'm fed with Kassadin, I would love to go side lane because nobody can 1v1 me, and I just take everything and get even stronger. So let's go for the other game. Again, you see what, again, you're making the same thing. Like you're doing nothing. You're not even scouting this. So this is one thing you can do better.
First blood.
Okay. So the better version of this would be to place it at 120, and you can do it somewhere here, because then you're covering this as well as this, right? So at this point, are you thinking about the enemy jungler? Because you know he started at your red, or are you just kind of playing it by feel?
I already know that I can easily run from him since it's Jarvan. He doesn't really have a lot of like CC at the early stages, level 1, level 2. So I just like don't really think about him. Well, I escape really easily ganks with Akali.
But not when you're level 1 though.
Yeah.
Right, you were level 1. If he actually hit his flag and drag here with red buff, they could have chunked you about half HP. And even though it doesn't kill you, it puts Yone in a way better position. So you have to be careful of that. Like, jungle ganks are not only to get kills. Jungle ganks are also to put your mid laner or your laner into a favorable position. Like, sometimes junglers will gank mid lane only to push out the wave and just leave. And that's going to be really, really impactful. So be careful. You don't want to take random damage. However, I can see you're completely styling on this Yone.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I see you're paying attention to what minion is going to die, so you're moving towards the minion in order to damage him. Now, this is a mistake here. Those 4 minions could have been used to push, to deny him, like 1 or 2 waves. Like, look at this. So instead of hitting this, you could have saved these minions to deny him a cannon wave, a completely free cannon wave. But now, because he's recalling on a cannon wave, he's not gonna miss too much. But this is a little bit of a more advanced concept. This is a little bit more advanced wave control. But right now, you're making another mistake in laning that you're not pushing, basically. Do you understand why you should be pushing or letting it push to you in this situation?
To deny him XP and gold.
Yes. Like, he basically here, you denied him, let's see, 4 melee minions. But you completely destroyed him in the first 2 levels. And the fact that you let him only lose 4 melee minions for this means that you're not pushing your advantage as much as you should. You should have either let it push to you, or if you wanted to get a recall off, you should have pushed in the wave faster, a lot faster. What is your gold milestone for your first recall? Are you thinking in those terms or no?
850.
850, that's good. So you know the amount of gold you want to recall on. So in that situation, what do you think would have been the better play? To push or to let it push into you?
Probably to push in and then recall.
But why?
So I don't lose a lot of golden XP, and also get like a neutral wave when I come back.
Okay, that's like the benefit of pushing out. However, I would say that it's better to freeze the wave and let it push to you. Because you're going to deny him a lot more in that situation. Okay? He's going to come to lane as level 2, and the wave is going to be on your side of the map. So, you're level 4, he's level 2, the wave is on your side of the map. All you have to do is just stand here, and he can't even get the wave anymore. So you're further pushing your advantage. But another thing is, you said your recall is at 850, yeah? But you don't have 850. So why would you rush a recall by pushing out the wave and recalling? You don't have to do it. So, of course, this is going to require practice making these decisions. However, you can rewatch this and you can start thinking about these things in your game. Like, you know, I want to go back at 850. I don't have 850. So is there anything better I can do than going back? Of course there is. I can deny him by letting it push. But like, you completely destroy this guy in the first 2 levels. Okay, you kill him here, right? He's just inting. Nice, you didn't even use your flash. That's... Okay, that was a little bit of an int flash, but I think you're aware of it.
Yeah.
Now here, again, so what are you thinking about waves?
Pushing.
Pushing, okay. That's an option for sure. However, the other option that is available to you is you have your gold. You can recall, let the wave push into you, and you can still catch it and deny him cannon wave. This way, I'm gonna make a prediction. You're gonna push this out, you're gonna recall, and you're gonna lose a wave because he's gonna push it out. Even if he doesn't, he could have done it. Let's see. Again, this guy, all he needs to do is just push, and you're gonna lose a wave. Will he do it? He was kind of slow, but you're gonna lose a bit here. Whereas you didn't need to lose anything, you could have denied him even more. And what was the difference between you recalling or clearing the wave and recalling? You still had a blasting wand, so it's basically just a control ward, or not even a refillable, right? One of these two is the difference. So I guess the tip I would give you is that when a play is over, like when the enemy is recalling or something, ask yourself, should I push? Should I let this push to me? Or should I just like leave the lane at this point? Ask yourself one of these 3 questions every time, and in time you're gonna get really good at this.
When they leave.
Yeah, when the play's over. So the enemy is when the enemy leaves the lane, or when you kill them, for instance, right? So that's what I mean when I say the play is over. Like when the enemy isn't actively in the lane. Also, you can ask yourself this question, like, how do I set up a good recall for myself? Think about this matchup at this point of the game. Like right now, keeping everything in mind, like you're level 7, level 6.
I can easily kill him.
So how can you use the fact that you're so much stronger than him as to build an advantage in this case?
Probably snowball my lane into other lanes.
You mean kill him and snowball it? Or
Yeah,
of course. That's one way to do it. However, again, what if he plays super safe?
Then I guess push into his turret and then start helping my jungler with objectives.
Yes, or roam for a gank. But this is a specific thing, like you're playing against a melee champion here. So you remember how Ziggs could just push the lane and bounce, like what I said, like after level 7, 8, he could just bounce. Well, Yone can't do that. Yone has to get into your fighting range in order to do that. So the difference when you're playing against a ranged mage versus a melee matchup is that you can deny him a lot. Like for instance, here you can start, like you can just slowly last hit this, and you see he is in your range here. Like you should be fighting him. Basically, he should never be able to do this. He's a level down. He is down in items. I think this should be down in items. So you beat him really hard here, and letting him push is just you not using your advantage further. And what was the point? Like, did you go for a ward or what? I don't even think you... No, you did nothing.
I think I was thinking about their Jarvan. I don't know if we had vision on him or not.
Well, sure, but why would you need to go here to think about him? Like, you can think about him here, right? Like, you can stand here and think about it. You don't have to stand here. And again, this all looks so small. However, League of Legends is just a game of... It's basically just a game of creating a favorable situation and fighting in that favorable situation. That's it. Like, you see what you did there? You completely annihilated. You could have done this here as well. In this situation, specifically, when you pushed out, it took you quite a bit of time to start the recall. Like, you're walking, then you're not sure if you want to take the wave or not. And then you finally decide to recall here, which is the correct play. Like, you made the correct play here. However, you could have made it faster. Okay. So you're doing really well in this game. And you did say that this is the game where you feel like you played well. However, I'm just showing you that there is ways that you could have made, like, destroyed this guy even harder and snowballed even harder.
And maybe even won.
Oh, you didn't win this game?
No, I didn't.
Oh, man. Yeah, that might not be your fault, but we'll see. I mean, you can always impact the game more. Like, right now, the fact that you crushed him so much, I would be looking to impact other lanes if possible. However, does the Senna come back, or does she just leave?
No, she totally leaves and we go.
Oh, but I mean, that's all. It doesn't count, man. I mean, you're doing well. This is exactly what I was talking about. Like, a melee champ cannot push the wave like Ziggs can. So I hope you understand the difference between fighting a mage and fighting a melee champ when you're winning.
Yeah.
If you want to set up roam, do you know what a slow push is?
Yeah. Basically, it's last hitting the minions and just waiting. Or no, is that freeze? Well, I think it is the last hitting minions and just slowly killing the.
Yeah.
minions.
So what you want to do is you don't want to over push the wave. You kind of want to make it slow down in order to get more minions in the wave, as opposed to just one wave worth of minions. So you would last hit minions and stop him from hitting minions. You can just do one attack to a minion. Like, let me just show you. So, right now, where's the wave pushing?
To him.
Exactly. So now, if you just last hit, the wave would just become bigger before crashing into the enemy tower. So you're slow pushing at this point. As soon as you use a Q on these minions and kill them, the slow push is over and you hard push. And if you were trying to set up roams to influence other lanes, the best thing you can do against like a champion who isn't gonna just clear your wave like a Ziggs or Twisted Fate is to build a slow push and then roam. Can you tell me why?
Because a huge minion wave is crashing that is potentially maybe taking a plate and takes more time to take out for mid laner.
Exactly, like it's gonna take him more time to clear it, and also he can't really roam with you because he's gonna miss 2 waves instead of 1. So I mean, you absolutely understand the way the game works. You just need to ask yourself these questions when you're in the game. I mean, this is one of those games where I would just surrender, because I get so discouraged by playing a 4v5 that it just ruins my next game. Oh, you build Oblivion Orb again versus Swain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like this. I think you shouldn't do this. Like, unless you press tab and Swain is like 8 kills, I don't think you should, especially when you're playing Ignite, I don't think you should ever build Oblivion Orb in that situation. So, I think not building this is probably gonna help you out. I also think that, like, be careful of how you use the potion, especially when you're running your Doran Shield and Second Wind setup. And also, when you, like, when the play is over, like the trade or something, ask yourself, should I push here or should I pull, and what gives me the most advantage? I think you're on a very good trajectory, man. You're gonna be way higher elo than this, 100%. If you have any questions, you can always ask me on the stream. I know I kind of have a profile idea, so I can give you better tips at this point. And also, I'm gonna do more of these, so you can apply. And I really look forward to like seeing if you apply again, seeing how differently you play after now and when you get to silver, gold, platinum, and stuff like that.